Maayong adlaw sa atong tanan. A pleasant day to all of you. This is Raf Layosa, CEO of Retail Gate Technologies, your program partner for PRA's Let's Talk Retail. And welcome to this latest episode of the PRA's official podcast, Let's Talk Retail. Now, you might have been intrigued as I gave you a rather unique greeting, right? Because that's a rather different dialect from what we usually go with. And that's actually a hint of who our guest is, who our guests are rather, for this episode. So yeah, you heard that right. We will be featuring two retail game-changing leaders whose vision is to serve the base of the pyramid of the Philippine market by offering a wide range of right and good quality products at an affordable price. Now, but before we jump right into that, don't forget to hit subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell to receive updates first. And now we're very pleased to introduce to you the father and daughter retailers hailing from the Queen City of the South. We start off with the founder and chief executive officer of the 64-store nationwide Prince Retail Group of Companies. These include 9 malls and 55 hypermarkets in Visayas and Mindanao, and has recently entered the Central Luzon and Southern Tagalog regions. Now, in recognition of his achievement, he was awarded the 2005 University of the Philippines Outstanding Alumnus for Strategic Business Leadership. He was likewise conferred as one of the 10 outstanding Ateneo de Cebu Alumni Awards for Humanitarian and Voluntary Leadership. As a true-blooded citizen of Cebu, he was awarded by Mayor Alvin Garcia Mayor's Special Award for the 59th Charter Day anniversary on international cooperation and was chosen as one of the 2005 awardees of 10 Outstanding Cebuano Award. He was elected president of the Cebu Chamber of Commerce and Industry in March 2004 and served until 2006. During his stint, the chamber was awarded as the most outstanding chamber of the Philippines and was a finalist to the prestigious World Chambers Award as the best chamber management and financing project, awarded at Durban, South Africa, a first for the chamber and the country. He would be further elected as governor of PCCI in 2006 and just ended his term as president of the Philippine Retailers Association Cebu chapter. Please welcome on screen Mr. Robert Go. Hi, Robert.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to the show. Right?
Yep.
All right, so our second guest is a graduate from the Ateneo de Manila University with a bachelor's degree in Management Information Systems. Being the eldest in the family, she immediately went back to Cebu to help her father with the family business after graduation. When she started, she was the head of IT while being trained on different aspects of the business, including store operations, merchandising, and finance under her father, Robert Go. Now, one of her first major projects was digitalization, implementing a POS and MMS system to see real-time sales and improve inventory management. She also championed process improvements, established structures, and built a strong leadership team to steer the company forward. In 2010, she was promoted to Chief Operating Officer, and she manages the entire organization while being mentored by strategic consultants. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Rhea Go-Lao. Hi, Rhea.
Hi, Rafi. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. So thank you so much. This is amazing. We have father and daughter tandem for this very special episode of Let's Talk Retail. And I'd really love to jump right into that. I mean, I really love that mission you guys have about really serving the underserved. And why don't you tell us more about that? What really drove that vision from you as a founder, Sir Robert, as you put up Prince Retail? Where did that mission come from, or that purpose of really serving the underserved?
Well, when I graduated from UP Diliman, I went straight to my father's kitchenware store in Carbon Market as a bodeguero actually. You know, being in UP, first quarter storm, sunken garden rallies, my roommate, my thesis mate became NDF, NPA commanders. It's all mga, it's for the poor, no? It's in fact they went under, no? But I went straight to my father's store as bodeguero. So from there, I don't like to sit out and wait for customer, no? So I go to Mindanao and Visayas Islands, from one town to the other to visit markets, no, and sell to them on consignment, no, and that would be the whole. I will always be on the road, no, and I would be coming from town to town, and they are what I love, to serve the people there, and because of that, because of my UP background, because we love the countryside, and so that became our motto, no, serving the underserved from in a small town.
Yes, I mean that is actually that's amazing where it all started, and I really share that same passion for that as an alumni, as a fellow alumnus of UP. I mean, it's really a great expression of honor and excellence, as we really believe in, serving the people as coming from University of the Philippines. I really love that, Sir Robert. Now, when you were starting that, definitely, I'm sure it wasn't easy. What were the hurdles and challenges that you had to overcome as you started that? You mentioned going around different places, town to town, and really it's about serving the underserved, right? So what were the challenges in doing that exactly?
Well, when that was in my father's business, no, from town to town, I would be riding buses to the countryside. I would eat in the corner, puko, anywhere the bus stop, you eat there, no. I would be stranded in Mindanao, where there is no, where the bridges had been washed out and you cannot go through. But since I want to go home, so they put a string for 2 trees, no. I just, you know, just climb like a monkey, no. And in fact, our salesman was left behind because he was too fat. I was then out of college. I was still uh, uh, good with my strength, no.
Yes.
And that would be, I would be sleeping in buses or nipa huts, no. And that will be my experience. And countryside people are very caring. He would They would call me to their nipa hut and said, "Oy, there are lost command here." That is similar to NPA, so, and please come inside because you might be caught there. So that, it's a 14-hour ride from Butuan to Tandag, no. Now, I started 4 o'clock in the morning. Probably I reached there about 4 to 6 o'clock, no. And my hair would be just like a steel wool, very hard and white. And I would use a bottle of shampoo, well, Selsun Blue that time, to finish the whole bottle so that it would become uh, so it would be clean, no. And that was my life, no. I was always on the road, and I learned a lot of things there, and so I love the countryside. And that's fast forward 30 years, it's still the countryside that I love. Yeah.
I mean, that's really amazing, that story, that backstory you shared with us. I mean, it's in a very literal sense that gives a whole new meaning to leadership while getting your hands dirty. I mean, I could imagine you really rolling up your sleeves and getting your hands dirty, very hands-on management right there. And of course, definitely that involved a lot of, for sure, as many would say, for any business founder, there's that involves a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, right? And as you were doing that, what was your vision for the company as you were starting and going through all those motions, all those challenges, and as you were learning along the way?
Uh, well, of course, I want to. I improve actually the business. No, we became the biggest wholesaler in Cebu that time, and
Mm-mm.
because then I was going all over Visayas, Mindanao, and now my market has become wider, broader, since it's not only Cebu, and
Mm-mm.
we go out. We don't wait for customer to come in. So, and I go to so many places. No, you can imagine every small town. I drop in. No, and
Mm-mm.
so that was my vision before I went into retailing.
Mm-mm.
Retailing is another kind. When I when when I discovered retail,
Mm-mm.
because wholesaling has become passe slowly, and I predicted that because boats are getting to be going to the smaller cities, and the logistic is getting to be better. So I'm losing customer.
Mm-mm.
So it make me stop and think, what next?
Mm-mm. Yes, so that's a very interesting journey right there, from that shift from wholesaling to retail, right? And then fast forward to today. I'd love to jump right into this next one with Miss Rhea. As you've progressed through the journey of Prince Retail, right? Miss Rhea, how young were you when you started to get involved in the family business? I mean, we saw earlier with your intro that right after graduation you jumped back to Cebu to really get same thing, actually, essentially get your hands dirty and get involved. Now, what was that like? How young were you then?
Yes, Rafi. Actually, I graduated. That was a Friday. I remember it's March 26th, Friday. On Saturday, we boarded the plane, go back to Cebu. On Monday morning, I was already working. Walang
Really
vacation.
acting fast.
Yeah, so but I was actually 5 years old when Prince Warehouse Club, that's the name of our retail store now, before we rebranded and expanded into Prince Retail. It used to be called Prince Warehouse Club. That was the
Mm-hmm.
very first store that my dad opened. uh,
Mm-hmm.
he can share more about that, but I was 5. I remember being there during the blessing, the opening, the racks, the stocks, the everything, no, parang it's like a glorified bodega.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen how my dad has started it with my mom and how they worked hard day and night to really make it grow. And so
Mm-hmm.
my summer vacations, my Christmas breaks, and all the out of school breaks were spent at the store. I was either a tindera helping to sell the items, or a cashier, or a price tagging the items. Before gun tagger pa, wala pa tayong barcode, diba? So the manual gun tagger, I used to do that. So I was helping out in every little way. When I was in high school, I joined buying trips to the Visoria and Baclaran, meeting suppliers,
Mm-hmm.
doing pricing, and helping merchandising. Back at
Mm-hmm.
high school, I also joined store openings. I would even be absent in class if there was a store that was open, because I really wanted to help out. And I was also excited with the merchandise that I bought if it would sell out. So right after college, I went full time right away. As I mentioned, no, Friday graduation, Saturday boarded the plane. Monday, I'm already in the office and back to starting my work right away. So yeah, it
Wow.
ever since I was a kid. So it's like been ingrained in me.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing. For a moment back there, when you said 5 years old, I was kind of surprised. I thought you really started working at 5 years old. But then again, as you went through that story, pretty much all your life you're already involved in the business, right? And how did that shape your view in life and your work, even going through as a student, right? And we saw earlier that you actually took up what's this, a bachelor's degree in management information system. So how did your experience or exposure in the stores with the operations shape your growth and leading you to that path of management information systems to where you are today?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Rafi. Because of my exposure in the business, and you know, my dad, he's very hardworking. Day and night, he talks about Prince. So
Mm,
growing up, that's what I would hear. I would see the entrepreneurial side of him, and I would say I'm also blessed because I got that. I got that from him.
mm,
So back in high school, I was already selling everything. My classmates in high school knows that ako yung pinaka-negosyante. I would sell anything from pirated CDs to slippers to clothes to yeah, everything that you can buy from me. And I really wanted to have my own business. I knew that business was the way to go. And that is why I took up MIS, or Management Information Systems, because it's a technical course. It's into IT. And I knew that if you wanted to grow a business, you needed technology. You cannot just rely on manual things forever, right? So I knew that I had to take something technical because
mm,
business can be learned. I
mm.
mean, business can be learned from my dad, from experience, you know, and I think parang I already know how to do business at a young age. So I needed to learn something technical so that I can apply that in the business later on, which I eventually did. So
Mm-mm.
it was kind of an intentional decision back then to take that course because I knew I wanted to improve um, and technologize the business that my dad started.
That's amazing. And we're really seeing that right now. I mean, the market is really going more and more digital, not just in response to the pandemic, but we're really seeing that that's the way to go to be sustainable and really future fit, right? And in line with that, what were the changes or the digital transformation initiatives that you've implemented in the store operations, and what impact did you see that created for you in the business?
Yeah, so at the very beginning, my dad gave me the title. I had this plaque in my desk, Chief Information Officer. But you know,
Mhm.
I'm a fresh graduate. I don't really feel qualified to be a CIO. So I just worked out whatever needed help at that time. And you know, I just did a lot of everything. I joined buyers and buying trips. I attended weekly OPCO meetings with store heads. I eventually did projects of my own, like barcoding every single SKU so we can track inventory. And eventually, one of my biggest projects was to implement our first POS system and a merchandising management system to digitize all our POs, receive from PO to receiving, and then track SKU movement every day. Because if it's
Mhm.
all manual, you know, it's so hard. It's so
That
hard
can
to
be a nightmare if it's all manual.
right. And we have how many SKUs, right? Thousands.
Mhm.
So that was one of my first projects, the implementation of an end-to-end system from
Mm-mm.
selling to receiving to merchandising inventory, and then eventually accounting systems, you know, ERPs also. Eventually, along the years, we migrated to different systems as we grew. Since the first systems that we implemented um, were not fit anymore for us, you know. So as we grow, we eventually evolved. um,
Yes.
yeah, so we had a lot of projects. Even right now, at 20, what now? We're now 2021. We still have a lot of digital transformation projects, you know,
Mm-mm.
from analytics and intelligence and a lot of
Mm-mm.
stuff.
Yes, that's really amazing, and I love that how you pointed out that it's really it has to be intentional to really evolve through the times, right? And I just want to circle back to that. Speaking of that handoff from generation to generation, I really love when you mentioned that you actually learned as you were young, and the business side of things. Who else to better learn from than if not from your father, Sir Robert Go, the founder of the business, right? Now, Sir Robert, when you in that very principle of passing the baton in essence, right? How did you do that? What were the best and very practical things that you've done to really inspire Miss Rhea and the rest of your family to really have that same passion that you had for the business?
Well, just like I've been interviewed by Price Waterhouse, no, and they had really printed, no, how did I pass on to the second generation? I said, throw them to the ocean and let them swim.
Trial by fire.
That's
And
true.
that's what I
That's
did,
winning.
no? And empower them. Well,
Mm-mm.
there is nothing better than learning by doing, no? And
Mm-mm.
the earlier you make a mistake, the better. When the mistake is still small, no?
Mm-mm.
Let
That is true.
them make mistake. I want them to make any mistake so that they learn from the mistake. And I just empower them, let them do it, uh, let them go around to every department of the store, of the office, know what's going on, and learn where it is your passion to be in,
Mm-mm.
where you are good at it. There, you you start it, no? Even after Rhea, the rest were also done like this, and all of them became very passionate about what they are doing, and it's just the empowerment and letting them make mistakes.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing. It's really about that trial by fire, learning by doing. I love that. But then there's that balancing factor of giving them the space to make mistakes so that we could really learn and of course really empower them, right? So Miss Rhea, what did that mean for you? Like being the first in among your siblings, right? To being the eldest, right? To be put through that process of trial by fire, but also being empowered and having that space to learn. What did it mean for you?
Actually, it's very challenging. The love for the business, it grows on you um,
Mm-mm.
as you work longer. It's not there instant. Like I know a lot of people my age or mga second generation.
Mm-mm.
I hear a lot of stories. My peers, they have struggles in working for the family business. They struggle with the mindset of. They struggle with working with with their parents and all. But for me, I'm actually thankful because my dad was very open to improvements. He's not afraid to delegate nor empower. In fact, too much empowered. So we can make our own, decisions right away. And and I like it because it's the only way that we can really grow,
Mm-mm.
individuals and also as a company. So early on, he's empowered me to take the reins. Of course, there were times I felt bad whenever I made mistakes, no, because of the huge consequences that it can make to the business. And the same with my siblings, no. There's no there's no easy way out of it. You really have to just go through it, go through the mistakes, pick yourself up. Yeah, you cry for a day or two, and then you just move forward. And one of
Yes.
the first challenges I encountered is really being lost. And I know people can relate to this. Now, once you're there in the business, there was really no structure, no clear training plan. And you
Mm-hmm.
know how us, like millennials or the younger generation, they want clarity on their role. They want to know
Mm-hmm.
what's exactly expected from them. They want to know, what's the next step for me? What should I do? But for
Mm-hmm.
us, there's none of that. We're just given a desk, and you're just given a desk, and then you're supposed to, start from there, and
And
you
just
know, you
get
have
things done.
I had no idea where to start. So, I just had to swim my way through and find out things on my own. I would, go with the people, ask them questions until eventually I got the hang of the business. And then I knew where were the gaps. And then I could start making projects and do improvement plans from there. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yes.
that's
I
basically how
mean, that's really where the space for learning and experimentation fuels that growth, right? And I love what you mentioned earlier about how there was that empowerment and to allow you to make decisions on your own. I really believe that there's power in the phrase "you decide," and it's actually really running on the speed of trust. And how did that fuel the culture, especially in the management, right? How did that cascade through your people in
So
shaping the culture of Prince Retail?
that's a very important aspect of our culture, and I'm proud to say also, on this very day, our people are very empowered. From our store managers who think like owners, from area managers, regional managers, our merchandising team, we make sure that, of course, we choose the right people. It starts with hiring, right? But we make sure that once you have the right team, you give them the empowerment to make their decisions. Of course, we're there to guide them and we're there to coach them. But in the end, it's them. They're the ones who make the calls, and we're here at their back supporting them. And that's
Mm,
really what I love about our team, because they're motivated, they're driven. We don't even tell them what to do. They just go run everything. We're just here supporting them and approving their plans. So that's why we can grow faster, because when people are motivated, they're empowered, they have that sense of responsibility, they have that sense of accountability, and they just fly. The talents of the Filipinos, it's
mm,
there. You just have to cultivate it. You just have to trust them and, let them fly. So the same way that my dad gave us empowerment is also
mm.
the same culture that we give to our leaders, the French management team, and down the line.
Wow, that is really powerful, right? I mean, we're giving them, passing off that same management that was given to you, that you were empowered, and so you also empower your people. I really love that. Now, on that note, let's talk management style. In terms of managing or leading the company, maybe we could start with Sir Robert. What's your management style? And then maybe as we dig through that, maybe what's the difference right now with Miss Rhea as the COO? How's your management style, Sir Robert?
Well, this has gone a long way, no? When we were a few stores, one, two, three, four stores, it's very entrepreneurial. I do it like a one-man army, di ba? Everything when I was new, I buy myself, I price myself, I sell myself, and open the store, hire people. But when the second generation came, I let them experience what I experienced so that the learning is faster. No,
Mm-mm.
we just guide them. No, and that is the same that we went through to empower and guide them. We believe bottoms up. No, uh, uh, we 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 listen to the ground from the lower level that goes up, and we approve their idea. And me, I don't like to say wrong. I don't like to say let us do this. I let them try unless it's a very bad mistake. No, so
Mm-mm.
so if it is pwede, go. No, uh, what if it's better? And it comes out most of the time it's better because they are on the ground. They knew it, and we let them do it. And if it is wrong, you learn from the mistakes, but never do the same thing, the wrong thing two times. No,
Yes.
and that's how we did it. No.
Mm-mm. Yes, and that is so true. I mean, we definitely do not want to repeat the same mistakes twice, right? Now, moving on with Miss Rhea, right? So I'm sure you a lot of what you're doing in leading the business and managing your team also comes from what you've learned from Sir Robert. But then, how is it? How is it also? How is your management style also unique and different? What's your unique touch to your management style?
I think because I'm a girl and I can connect more to the people. So I make sure to establish a very good relationship with each of my leaders. I know everything, almost everything about them, what they like, what pisses them off, what motivates them, what drives them. And if I know my people well, I know how to drive them, I know how to move them, and I know what ticks them. So for me, relationship is very important.
Mm-mm.
I have consistent conversations and relationship, communication to my team, and making sure, to make sure that I care for them, they feel valued. Because I believe that when people feel that you really care sincerely, they will also care about your business. And,
Mm-mm.
if you take care of your people take care of your customers, right? So, yeah, that's the first thing, I guess, the relationship and the feeling cared and valued. Also, I listen a lot. So, as my dad mentioned, we listen to the ground. We're the type of leaders who are very open. So, every time there is a problem or a decision to be made, I make sure to, ask everyone what they think. I don't decide for them. I let them all give their inputs, and we decide as a team what's the best way forward. That way, they can own their decision, and then when they implement it, it's very, it's real. It's with
Yes.
passion, it's with conviction, because it comes from them. It's
It's
not
more
like
authentic.
it's authentic. It's not like, kasi my boss told me, ito na
Yes.
yung direction natin, top down. We're not like that. We make sure
Mm-mm.
that there's buy-in from every level of the organization. And when there's complete buy-in with your decisions, the implementation of your goals, your plans, smooth siya. Kasi when their heart is there, diba? It's already ingrained in them. And also because they're empowered, they know that the accountability is there. And if it fails, all of us naman, we're all in it together. And
Mm-mm.
also, we also have this quote, as you mentioned kanina, as Dad mentioned about failure, no? We always tell our people, it's okay, we tolerate mistakes, but never abuse. Okay lang
Mm-mm.
magkamali, wag lang abuso. Iba kasi
Mm-mm.
yung abuso na, they do something na sadya. Pero if
Mm-mm.
alam mo naman it was an honest mistake and it was an intent to help the company, then, it's okay. We tolerate that. We're not so hard on people. You have to be hard on process but soft with people. So yeah, I guess, the relationship, the empowerment, being open, listening to them, allowing them to grow, developing them. Doing. I spend a lot of time coaching and developing our leaders, because
Mm.
most of our leaders are from inside, homegrown.
Ah,
We
yes.
believe that a lot. Yeah. So
I
because
love that.
culture for us is so important. Eh. I'd rather
Mm-mm.
get people from inside, groom them, develop them. Kasi they're ours na. They know how we think. They know what our passion is. So when they grow and develop the management skills to lead, then it's faster to run.
That is true. And there really is power in breeding leadership from within. And I love how, as you told that story of how you put your own touch into your management style, we can actually see some parallelism where it really draws from the foundation of that empowerment that your father, Sir Robert, actually started with you and the rest of your siblings. That's really amazing. Now, as we close, what would be your message to fellow retailers, especially in these times, as we are now seeing that we're already starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel? We're moving much better now, especially as vaccines are rolling out. What would be your message to the whole industry? Maybe we start with Sir Robert.
Yeah, and well, uh, there there is still better tomorrow that will come in. No? In every crisis, there's always opportunity, and in fact, we nurture those opportunities, and we even did everything. No, and well, as you said, no, if there's darkness, sunrise is soon to come, and
Mm-mm.
well, we after probably this pandemic, after the everybody get herd immunity, probably next year or year after, uh, will be better and will be better off than before. No, the pandemic is just like a hiccup, and
Mhm.
in fact, there's so much thing that you can learn from the pandemic because digitalization, the AI, our transformation. In fact, we're busier this time during the pandemic, no? Not
That
in the
is true.
store level, but in transformation and changing our processes. We have a bubble of people, consultants doing checking on every little aspect. We even train our supplier how to do online payment, no? Because they cannot accept online payment with paperless.
Yeah.
We're all paperless. Uh, the last paper I throw away was my day timer organizer. No, now I don't hold a pen except to sign checks. No, and
Mm-mm.
even today I don't sign checks anymore. So
Yes.
well, there's so much to learn. I think we'll have a better and brighter future after this pandemic.
I love that. I mean, pretty much with what you said, Sir Robert, it's like synonymous to what Abraham Lincoln once said. You give me, I think, what did he say? 10 hours to cut down a tree. I'll spend the first 8 hours sharpening my saw. In a very enterprise way, we're seeing the same, that we have to do that on a company level with all our processes. Now, Ms. Rhea, I just want to tweak a bit the question for you. Particularly, what would be your message for your fellow next generation retail leaders?
Hmm. I think continue to be resilient. I think resilience is it's one of our core values as a company and also as a leadership team. I believe that resilience is very important, not just to survive this crisis, but to thrive. And when we embrace the change and the challenges that we go through with this pandemic, there are so many opportunities that we see out there. I know a lot of people are complaining, we cannot go out and all of that, but kami, we're actually excited because there's so much opportunities that that we can see even with this crisis. And so we just have to look at the bright side. We have to be resilient, embrace it positively, look at the opportunities, and you will see that there are a lot of growth that we can still see. And we have to be fast and flexible. We cannot just be accustomed to our old ways. We have
Mhm.
to adjust, we have to tweak, we have to pivot. If there are
Mhm.
things that don't work out, then let's change it, let's improve it, and then let's see, and then tweak and tweak and tweak until it gets perfect. So I think being fast, being flexible, being resilient, and
Mhm.
seeing the best out of every opportunity are some core things that are important for all of us.
That is so true, and I really love that. I mean, I also see with your answers, we're seeing that parallelism between father and daughter. That it all boils down to having that space to learn and grow, and that's really the key, so that we can keep on improving and recognizing that we can still keep doing better. I really love that, and I'm pretty sure that that's really it's no wonder why Prince Retail is now 30 years strong, and for sure more and more years to come. So thank you so much, Sir Robert and Miss Rhea, for joining us for this episode of Let's Talk Retail. We've learned so much from you, and we're so much better for it. So that's another episode of Let's Talk Retail, and we will definitely see you all on the next. Stay safe, and we'll see you then. Again, this is Raf Layosa, founder and CEO of Retail Gate Technologies. We'll see you for the next episode of Let's Talk Retail. See you then.